forever.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Well, aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Mom, can I have $1? Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? It's not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet? There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
IHSA Network Basketball is presented by Country Financial. What's your idea of financial security? Visit countryfinancial.com and we'll help you achieve financial security no matter where you're starting from.
3-point win for U-High as they survive and advance, and a gritty finish to this one. Curtis Ellis, 13 points. We're not talking about that. It's your defensive performance there towards the end. What happened in the final 6 minutes after they made the run and you guys are able to get control a little bit more?
We just stuck it out. They was doing a lot of screening, so we made a defensive adjustment and started switching off a little bit, and that kind of worked out for us in the end.
You've had an interesting career going from a starter, then back to the bench, and then today back into the starting lineup. What's it been like for you, and just what's your attitude when you go out on the floor?
When we first started, it was kind of hard for me because I was used to starting, but I realized that we had, everybody can play on our team. We basically had 2 starting groups, and I was the leader of the second starting group, so I basically put my differences aside and did what was best for the team.
Going through that, is it rewarding to have an effort like you did tonight to get to the state championship game?
Yeah, it really is.
All right, well, Curtis, congratulations. We'll talk to your head coach here, Bob Fitzgerald. You know, that was a great defensive effort, as I mentioned, but you called timeout with about 6:21 to go, and you told the kids, it's a 6-minute game, let's start over again. How do you get your kids to calm down, especially with how emotional you are on the sidelines?
Well, you know what? They made a run at us. We looked at the clock. 6 minutes isn't a lot of time. You know, that's a brief moment in a basketball game. We figured if we could just condense it down and find a way to execute down the stretch and get our kids to understand that when you're trying to play for an 8 o'clock game on Saturday night, you got to minimize mistakes. You know, I thought our kids did just a tremendous job.
With your long history with Cal Hubbard and going through the program yourself, what's it like for you to be the head coach in a state championship game tomorrow?
Well, you know what? Like I've always said, you know, U-High basketball and the U-High community has always been about family. You know, just for me to have an opportunity to be a teacher and a coach there, you know, that's meaningful. You know, I've had a profound impact in my life. You know, to find a way for us to get another team down here to compete for a state championship, that's really important to the Pioneer Nation.
Well, congratulations, Coach. You'll enjoy your win.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
55-52, the final score. U-High playing in the state championship tomorrow. Shootout for 3 points. 3-point showdown coming up next.
Just a reminder that kids who participate in high school sports tend to go a little farther than those who don't.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
And welcome back to Carver Arena. We just saw a very exciting finish. U-High advancing to the state championship game. They will face the winner coming up between Seton Academy and Breese Central for U-High. It's their first trip to the state championship game since 1995 when they knocked out Aurora Christian to win the Class A title. All right, we have 3-point showdown time. This is Class 2A. You know how it works if you followed our broadcasts. Our final 4 contestants in Class 2A. The preliminaries yesterday and advancing to the preliminaries through the regional and sectional round along with the tournament. And here we are, 3 racks, 45 seconds. And David Andrews will lead us off. Gordon Tech with a wonderful run in the tournament to the sectional championship game, losing to Rockford Lutheran, who just fell tonight. For Andrews, a 6'1" senior, National Honor Society member, 2-time All-Catholic League first team. Sees a lot of competition throughout the year. And for David Andrews, it's going to be a pretty nice round. Well, David, how much fun has this been for you?
Blast, been a blast.
What's it like shooting in this environment with all these people?
It's a lot different, but you know, the rims are rims, so.
You guys had a great run in the tournament.
Yeah, really great. You know, I wish we were here. We could have been here, 1 game away, really. But you know, I've been kind of blessed that I was able to come here too. So I've been, you know.
Well, congratulations, David, on a wonderful season, and we'll see if your score holds up. First one down. And for David Andrews, got 9 in that one there. They're not keeping it on the scoreboard here at Carver Arena, so we're doing a little bit of adjustment here. And this is Ryan McQuaid, Aurora Christian Jr., 6'4". Aurora Christian, a long-time basketball power in Class A. Under the Don Davidson era. And for Aurora Christian, a great season in football, 3A title. He's got 7 there. 8 and 4. Nope, couldn't quite get 8, and so he's going to end up with 8 right there. So Ryan, 8 there, just a little bit short of 9. How much fun has it been just to shoot here at Carver Arena?
It's been a great experience. You know what I mean? Just getting down here was a accomplishment, but getting to the Final Four is even better. So just give all the glory to God. You know what I mean? So
memorable career for you so far, basketball-wise. You had a nice run last year for sure.
Yeah, definitely Elite 8. I mean, we played obviously the state champions in Hales, so they were really good. So, but it was a fun experience. So,
well, congratulations once again, Ryan. He's got 8, just a little bit short though. But again, when you're a junior, you get to come back, or at least to take a shot at it next year. And so now our third shooter from Olney. And the Tigers, this is Joel Eagleson, the 5'10" senior. All conference in basketball, Illinois State Scholar, all conference in football twice. Off to a nice start with 5. He's going to need a little bit more, and I don't think he'll have enough basketballs to win it with. And so for Joel, you had 6 there, not quite the number you wanted.
Yeah, you know, looking for 9, but I'll take 6. I mean, I'm happy to be in the Final Four, so it happens.
What's it like coming up here, putting the uniform on one more time?
It's great. Playing Peoria Civic Center, I mean, it's a nice court, and it's great. Thanks. All
right, well, congratulations for getting here. It's not easy to get here. Going through the regional and sectional round, and then having to do it on Thursday night. So for the senior, one more time putting the jersey on. Now this is Max Stutzman from Catlin High School. Wearing the Salt Fork jersey. 6'5" sophomore. He can put it up there. Or I should say he can fill it up with career high 31 so far in this 2-year career. Got 2 more years to go, and he's got 7. It looks like he's in good shape. Tied for the lead at 9 for the win. He's got 2 more to take it. Now he needs 1 more. Oh! So Max, you had 9, and now we got a shootout.
I had a rhythm there in the last rack. I kind of just fell asleep and didn't make any shots.
It's all about rhythm, though, isn't it?
Yeah, once you get going, it's hard to stop.
All right, we'll let you get warmed up for the shootout here. We got a 1-minute warm-up, and so the shootout will be between the Gordon Tech product, David Andrews, who I'm sure when he put that 9 on the board thought, I don't know if that's going to hold up. So they're going to shoot from the corners. And more often than not, the kids that, when they get to this level, they prepare for anything, so they do get some practice in from the corners, but it's entirely different when you have an arena background like this. And so again, 30 more seconds. Max Stutzman of Catlin High School, the sophomore, going against the senior, David Andrews of Gordon Tech. He holds the school record for the most threes in a game with 8. So you might have to consider him the favorite. And he loves the left side there as we watch him warm up. Once again, we have another semifinal coming up. It's going to be a dandy. Number 1 versus number 2. It does not happen all that often at the state level. Breese Central from the southern end of the state, winning the SIU Super Sectional, will be taking on Seton Academy, who plays a majority of 3A and 4A schools, going through the Catholic League and seeing Gordon Tech throughout the season. And this should be a real interesting contrast of styles in our second game, and our fourth of the day. So David will go first. He's going to adjust the racks real quick, and I think it looked like he was going to start from the left. But you can see what the arena background is like for David from behind. Off to a real good start though. 30 seconds and 2 racks this time around. David, he got 2 on that one. Get it up to about 6. Should be in good shape. 5 right there. How about 6? Why not? 1 more for the road. Yes, sir. That's a lot better rhythm-wise, isn't it?
I love the corners. So.
Love the corners. Why?
This shooting experience. I got lucky last time too. I got to do a shootout, so hopefully I'll be able to get it. So
you're familiar with it. We'll see if it holds up. That's a pretty good number, as he had 7 there out of 10. And so David will wait. The Rams represent Addison and California. Can that hold up? Max's turn from Catlin High School, the sophomore with the pressure on. He sees the number he's got to get. He has to get to 7. 3 so far. Pretty good rack, but a lot of work to do here on the final one. He's got to go 4 or 5 just to extend it. Max has to hit these 2. Oh, not quite. For Max is going to come up short. Well, what, are you comfortable with the corners? It didn't quite work out.
No, I'm more comfortable on the wings and stuff. Corner, I really haven't had any success this year, so.
That's something you practice though in this setup?
Yeah, I just feeling warm-ups and just didn't shot make it when it came to the finals. So.
All right, well, congratulations, Max. We'll let you get your award. And we'll send it over to Paul Herzog for the presentation for the 3-point showdown, brought to you by Country Financial.
For finisher will be Country Financial representative Adam Lopez of Springfield. In 4th place, from Olney, East Richland, Joel Eagleson. In 3rd place, from Aurora Christian, Ryan McQuaid. In 2nd place, from Catlin, Max Stutzman. And the winner of the 2A Country Financial Showdown, Dave Andrews of Chicago Gordon Tech. Congratulations to all 4, and David will report next week, King of the Hill competition against the other class winners on Saturday next weekend.
So we have 2 winners for the day in Class 1A this afternoon. Patrick Schmelze moves on from Freeport-Acquin, and David Andrews from Gordon Tech. They'll both return next weekend to try and become the King of the Hill. Country Financial 3-point showdown. Another semi coming up next. Stay with us.
Tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Well, aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
I'm a family farmer.
My family farms too. I'm making sure the food I grow is safe for my family.
And for yours.
I don't cut corners. It wouldn't be right.
But family farmers haven't talked to you lately.
We'd like to talk with you now.
We know you have questions about how we raise your food.
Treat our animals.
And protect the environment.
Join a conversation at watchusgrow.org.
A conversation with the farm families of Illinois.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Well, aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes, skating, movies, zoo, whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. Now, we already had 4, so I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Rich?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back to Peoria for our IHSA State Basketball Finals. Dave Bernhard, along with our special guest, Gina Morse-Fisher of the Susan G. Komen Foundation. She is the Development Director for the Development Affiliates. And Gina, it's a great partnership to have with the Susan G. Komen Foundation and the IHSA.
That's right. Volley for the Cure is in its 5th year, and we are closing in on nearly $1 million raised. That's by kids, by students participating in Volley for the Cure. This year alone, they will have raised more than $250,000. And what I love about it is that it's kids learning what it means to give back to their communities. They're having a great impact on the lives of Central Illinois residents.
And this is something that with the IHSA you've been able to put together and involve more and more schools as time has gone on.
That's right. Up to 250 schools are participating. It's just incredible, growing, and we hope to surpass that $1 million funds raised this year.
Well, that's just part of what you do. You have some events coming up here, May 12th to be exact, here in Peoria.
That's right. It's our 27th annual Komen Peoria Race for the Cure. This is the hometown of Susan G. Komen, so it is very special indeed. Coming up on May 12th, the Saturday before Mother's Day. It's a great time to bring moms and grandmas, all of the family, kids out to raise dollars for this important cause. Together we can make a difference. We can save lives and one day end breast cancer forever. And the way we do that is through events like Race for the Cure, raising dollars to fund important research and grants that provide life-saving screenings, treatment, outreach, and education.
For those folks that are just runners by nature, they can come back out to Central Illinois later on this year.
Absolutely, and then coming up in September, the weekend after Labor Day, is our 2nd annual Bloomington Normal Race for the Cure. In its first year, raised more than $250,000. Just an amazing impact there as well. So we invite people to participate in both Peoria and Bloomington Normal, bring the whole family out and have a great time and know that their dollars are truly making an impact and saving lives.
Well, thank you for the impact you've made on the IHSA and all the students involved in all the schools for the Volley for the Cure and the Let's Get That $1 Million quest.
Let's do it. Thanks to all the kids that are participating.
All right. Gina Morse-Fisher of the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Development Director. We'll be back with more right after this.
Grandpa! There he is. I love staying here. How long have you lived here?
A long time. You know, your mother grew up here.
I'm gonna have a house like this when I grow up.
I hope so, buddy. I hope so.
For the first time in generations, the dream of home ownership is being threatened. Realtors, members of the National Association of Realtors, are here to represent you and protect home ownership.
Jane goes to school from 7:45 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Then must go to softball practice from 3:45 to 6 p.m., followed by jazz practice from 6:30 to 9 p.m. What are you doing between 3:45 and 9?
A recent survey of Fortune 500 executives showed that 95% participated in activities while in high school. So don't just go to school, go beyond with the IHSA.
The Illinois High School Association. Challenge yourself.
That's low, that's low. That's low and below. Look, he's blushing. Seriously.
Bring out the action hero in you. Fuel up right and get energized. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
Number 1 versus number 2 coming up with Breese Central and Seton Academy here at Carver Arena as we continue our coverage of the IHSA television network's presentation of the Class 2A semifinals. Our first game saw U High, a 55-52 winner, hanging on after watching a 7-point lead erased to 1. They get the win, and they get it on defense. We listen in on Bob Fitzgerald, Curtis Ellis, and Kata Bates-Diop talking to the media a couple of minutes ago.
A senior reserve. Curtis was a senior starter and a senior that helped lead us to a 8 o'clock game tomorrow night. So that was a tough game. We knew coming in that Lutheran was a full court team, that they were going to push the basketball on us. I don't think we did a real great job of containing them. I thought for the most part the tempo was their type of game. But you know what, for a while there it was like we were kind of drawn in the sand, just finding a way to get baskets, and our kids responded. So I'm really proud of our ball club. I'm really proud of our basketball program, the Pioneer family, for just finding a way to get back to the big one. It's been a while.
Questions? Coach, fourth quarter they tied it up there with that 5-0 run to begin the fourth quarter. Then they cut it down to 1 there in that last minute 30. Then you got the lead there late. What do you tell your team there those couple timeouts to really settle them down and then get the win?
I thought the biggest one was about 6-minute mark where they had made a run and tied it up. After we had given them a couple of easy looks, a couple of turnovers led to baskets, and we just said, hey, there's a 6-minute game. 6 minutes is a really short amount of time, and then in life, in a basketball game, in one of our practices. And so we just said, hey, for 6 minutes, just find a way. Find a way to get some stops, find a way to get some rebounds, and score some baskets. But I think the biggest thing was when they hit those 2 threes, which about ended my life. And got it to 1, I was really considering calling a timeout, especially when Curtis was about to dribble the air out of the ball coming up the floor. But I didn't, and I said, hey, let's just run with him. We had enough kids out on the floor, got the ball moving, got the ball through Kyle's hands. Kata got open under the basket, put us up by 3, and that was the difference in a basketball game. So I'm pretty glad I didn't call a timeout that time.
Did you do anything in terms of saying to them when you had a 7-point lead and it looked like you kind of doing pretty well first half? Did you just kind of settle them down in terms of don't get ahead of yourself? There's still a whole half. You've got to contend with another whole half. Let's not get ahead of them.
Sure. One thing, and I've talked to these guys, and they'll admit it. If there's one weakness that I've tried to express in this basketball team is it's a really nice team. And you see that at times where maybe we'll get it up to 7, and on a key rebound or on a key play, we might have a chance to get it up to 9 or 11, and we might not make that play. They're getting that. Part of that's being young. Part of that's, everybody says, well, we're big.
Fitzgerald and the rest of the U High kids from the Pioneers moving on to the state championship game tomorrow night. The rest of the press conferences you can check out. Go to IHSA TV, and also go to IHSA.org for stats and scores of games going on around the state, especially those 3A and 4A sectional finals like Peoria and Washington, a tight one with 6 minutes to go just down the street over at the Renaissance Center. Springfield-Lamphere looks like they're going to be in charge. A couple of finals already in the books. Warren, Simeon, and Proviso East look like they will move on as well. We have a second semifinal game coming up for Class 2A. It's number 1 versus number 2. Who will clinch a bid to the state championship game and face U High tomorrow night? We'll find out next on the IHSA Television Network.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Well, aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
From the gridiron to the hardwood, on the links or on the track, on the diamond or on the ice. Go to prepfilms.com. It's easy. You can order your DVD online. At prepfilms.com, you make the memories. We'll make them last forever.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Well, aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
Bring out the action hero in you. Fuel up right and get energized. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
"7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step."
The following is a presentation of the IHSA Television Network. The opposite ends of the state go head-to-head in a battle of number 1 versus number 2 to face U High for the Class 2A state championship right here on the IHSA Television Network. And welcome into our broadcast once again, Game 4 of the day. Hi everyone, Matt Rodewald with you here at Carver Arena as we get set for one more game, and hopefully we saved the best for last, although we've seen 2 real good ones throughout the day so far. Take a look and see what you've missed if you're just joining us. Carrollton with a big 1-point win. Joey Kunda with a 2 pair of free throws to give the Hawks a 1-point win in that first semifinal, and Woodlawn rolling in the first half, and they cruised to an 18-point win over North Shore. We just saw a great finish with UI hanging on for the win against Rockford Lutheran, and Breese Central and Seton Academy coming up next here on the IHSA Television Network. Seton Academy, of course, the state champs for 2009. Breese Central, a school record, 32 wins coming into this contest tonight at longtime head coach Stan Eagleson. And for the call, we send it over to Dave Bernhardt and Cameron Smith. Gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Great to have you with us here this evening. And as Matt just said, Breese Central here in 2010, they finished 4th. 1 year earlier, it was the Stings' turn to win a state title, and their head coach, Brandon Thomas, very much a part of that team.
Yes, he's very familiar with the environment down here in Peoria. Now, the Sting hang their hats on the defensive end. They want to force Breese Central into uncharacteristic things with the basketball, so it'll be interesting to see how this game plays out.
Well, we are privileged here tonight not only to have the top 2 teams in the state, but in this particular game, we have 2 of the 5 first-team All-Staters. First of all, for Breese Central, what a great one, Brandon Book.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Brandon Book is the real deal. He's averaging 20 points and 8 rebounds per game. But the surprising stat is he's shooting over 41% from 3. He's 6'6". That's unbelievable.
And on the other side for Seton Academy, a first-team All-Stater, that's Mark Weems.
Well, Mark Weems is the scoring catalyst for the Sting this season. He does a great job of attacking the basket and has a nice change of speed when he has the basketball in his hand getting to the rim.
We talk about Mark Weems, of course, he's an All-Stater, but there's a lot of people that play the ball game for Seton Academy. Head coach Brandon Thomas talks about his team's depth and what's led them to Peoria.
You know, well, it's twofold. One, obviously, we want to get into the bench because we want to wear teams down. I mean, that's the theory behind it. Also, I want to play my guys. I mean, I have, 15 guys that can legitimately play. And if we don't get deep into the bench, and we don't play, 12, 13 guys, I mean, I honestly feel pretty bad about that, because I have guys that are sacrificing, every day in practice, and a lot of these guys could be other places getting major playing time, but they chose to to be here, and I want to play them. So, I like for the game to get up and down just because I want to see guys go in and have an opportunity to experience the game just like everybody else.
So Brandon Thomas says he likes everybody to get into the ball game, but he also likes to score points. The Sting came in averaging 80 points per game in a regular season. They've been down around that 50-60 number here in their last 4 games. Here is the road that Seton Academy took to get here. What an amazing game in the very first game, that game against Chicago University High. In that ball game, that was a double overtime victory. Okay, that's one thing. The second was Seton Academy was down by 4 with 7 seconds left. That's when Kamal Shasi converted, yes, a 4-point play. On the other side, for Breese, they had to get through Westland. They had to defeat Mater Dei for the 4th time this year. We all know how tough that is. Tough ball game against Alton Marquette. Then how about that emotional game, a 37-30 win against Harrisburg in the Super Sectional. Of course, Harrisburg, their fans are high school, suffering from the effects of the tornado a week earlier, but it was a 37-30 win, a game in which Brandon Book actually played the last 5 minutes with 4 personal fouls. That's how important he is to his team, because Dan Ingleson, the head coach, said, I can't take him out. If I take him out, we don't win.
Right, I mean, Brandon has a great basketball IQ at this point of his career, because in that super sectional game, he stayed in those 4 fouls. If he fouled out, it's a different ball game. I don't think that Breese Central comes away with that win.
Breese Central girls finished 2nd in the state just a couple of weeks ago in Class 2A. Their boys looking to do a bit more. They are the #1 ranked team coming in, Seton Academy #2, and we're ready to get things started. Let's go to our public address announcer, Paul Herzog.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association and the City of Peoria, welcome to Carver Arena for America's original March Madness. Tonight's Class 2A semifinal game for 2012 features the South Holland Seton Academy Sting at 28-4 and the Breese Central Cougars at 32-1. Let's meet the teams. For Seton Academy, a 5'11 sophomore, #2, Christopher Seton. 5'9 junior, #3, Keith Williams. 6'1 junior, '5, Damian Evans. 5'9 senior, #11, Curtis Cross. 6 foot junior, #21, Armand Mooring. 6'2 senior, 22, Damone Goodlow. 6'3 senior, 24, Brandon Woods. 6'3 junior, 32, Danye Coleman. 6'5 junior, 35, Johnny Patterson. And a 6'1 senior, 52, Tyrell Jordan. Now the Cougars of Breese Central, a 5'9 junior, 5, Greg Meyer. 5'10 junior, 15, Tanner Imming. 5'10 senior, 21, Gavin Thomas. 6'1 senior, 22, Andrew Schulte. 5'11 junior, 23, Luis Perez. 6'6 junior, 33, Kyler Shear. 6 foot junior, 45, Luke Jackson. 6'7 junior, 53, Noah Stockman. And now the starting lineups for the semifinal contest. At a forward for Seton Academy, a 6'5 senior, 25, Sylvester Tolliver. At a forward for Breese Central, a 6'3 junior, 30, Austin Rickoff. The other forward for the Sting, a 6'9 senior, 33, Russell Robinson. At center for the Cougars, a 6'6 senior, 50, Brandon Book. At a guard for Seton Academy, a 6'2 junior, #4, Mark Weems. At a guard for Breese Central, a 6-foot sophomore, 11, Jacob Timmerman. Another guard for the Sting, a 5'11 senior, number 10, Jordan Foster. Another guard for the Cougars, a 5'10 senior, 13, Nick Grapperhaus.
All right, everybody, that's how you do.
The third guard for Seton Academy, 6-foot junior, 23, Kamal Chassis. The third guard for Breese Central, a 5'10 junior, number 20, Justin Becker. Head coach for Seton Academy in his second year at the school, a record of 49-12, is Brandon Thomas. Assistant coaches, Mark Weems Sr., Arthur Kimber Sr., Kevin McNair, Romel Bryant, and Jack Solomon. Head coach for Breese Central, 26 years at the school, a record of 524 and 242, Stan Eagleson. Assistant coaches, David Thomas, Kurt Peters, Jeremy Schubert, Donnie Pedersen.
They come from the north, they come from the south. No common opponents. It's number 1 versus number 2, and it's your Class 2A semifinal coming up next.
Just a reminder that kids who participate in high school sports tend to go a little farther than those who don't.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
IHSA Network Basketball is presented by Country Financial. What's your idea of financial security? Visit countryfinancial.com and we'll help you achieve financial security no matter where you're starting from.
Stan Eagleson in his 26th season at Breese Central High School, 524 wins there, 584 in his 30th year of coaching. And on the other side, Brandon Thomas, just in his second year as the head coach at Seton Academy with 49 wins to go with just 12 losses. And as Cameron mentioned earlier, Brandon Thomas on the bench for the 2009 state champion Sting. Well, Cameron, this is a ball game a lot of people have been waiting for. I mean, anytime you see number 1, number 2, but the intrigue is how there is no real familiarity between these two teams. No common opponents, nothing to really compare by until we get to these 32 minutes.
Yes, as you mentioned earlier, these teams are from different sides of the state. One is from the south, one is from the north. But you want to see that 1 versus 2 matchup because that's what everyone anticipates. You want to see the two best teams go at each other.
Frame of reference for Central, their only loss came to Vianney High School. That's a team in St. Louis that finished the season 27-2. Vianney have been nationally ranked. They were the number 2 ranked large school team in St. Louis. They had big players, they had strong guards. That's the only loss that Breese Central suffered. That was just by 7 points, 66-59.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if Breese Central learned their lesson from that game because, as you mentioned, they lost to their opponent because of the guard play. Their guards weren't able to handle the pressure, and the Seton Sting, they bring the pressure in the backcourt. They're going to hound you from the opening tip until the buzzer sounds. So this is going to be interesting to see if Breese Central has learned their lessons from that last loss.
That was 17 games ago. Central started the season with 16 straight. They come into this ball game with a 16-game winning streak. First shot of the game for Seton comes up short for J.R. Tolliver.
And Brandon Book getting that rebound. He's already into the stat sheet already.
The other way comes Weems. Powers in. Oh, look out, the block by Book. He not only took out the ball, he took out his teammate.
Well, I think that basketball might not be the same after that block. Man, you can hear the impact all the way at the top of the rafters. Brandon Book saying, hey, Mark, you got to come a little stronger than that. This is the state semis.
The Central fans getting a look on the video board, the replay of that one. With it is Jordan Foster. Inside, Russell Robinson, a 6'9" senior, can't get it to go, and the rebound will come off to Austin Rickoff.
Well, Seton Academy is 0 for 2 so far from the field, but they've gotten great looks.
That'll be a travel whistle on sophomore Jacob Timmerman.
Now, the Sting have gotten great looks on their offensive possessions. As we saw on that last play, Russell Robinson was unsuccessful finishing it, but if they're going to keep attacking you, they're not going to let up. So we saw that Brandon Book destroyed Mark Weems' layup, but Mark is going to keep attacking.
2 turnovers now for Central. Jordan Foster. Off the iron, the rebound to Book. Timmerman will not necessarily want to make an offense that will push and roll up high numbers. It's an offense that, quite frankly, and Stan Eagleson admits, has struggled at times this year despite their 32 wins.
Well, they like to try and control the pace of games, and I think that's one thing that Central tries to do against their opponents. Now, against Seton, they're going to have a tough time trying to control the pace because Seton wants to speed this team up. They want to cause turnovers so they can get out in the open court and run.
For Seton, it's all about defense for them. As their coach Brandon Thomas says, that's not negotiable. We're playing defense all the way as Book will score our first points of the night on the offensive rebound.
Brandon using some of that muscle on that 6'5" frame to get that offensive rebound and basket.
Tolliver inside Robinson, and we're tied at 2.
Now that's a skill, ladies and gentlemen. Russell Robinson batted that ball about 18 times before he made that layup. Great hand-eye coordination by that young guy.
It's an interesting matchup down low. We can keep an eye on number 50, Brandon Book at 6'6". Russell Robinson 6'9". He wears number 33 for Seton.
Now Brandon Book is just a rugged player, and Seton is going to try and negate his toughness on the boards with J.R. Tolliver. So that's a matchup to keep in mind watching this game.
Weems. A foul inside. Mark Weems will shoot 2.
Hey, I mentioned it before. Mark got his shot blocked by Brandon Book, but Mark is going to keep going. He has a lot of confidence. Got away with a little push-off, but the ref called this foul on Brandon because you saw that left hand come down. The left hand came down by Brandon, and it hit Mark as Mark was going up for the shot. So that's why he's at the free throw line.
Book with 8 blocks in the sectional championship game over Cana. Followed that up with 3 blocks in the win in the super sectional on Tuesday.
Now you have to know what Brandon is at all times when you're driving the ball and you're trying to put a shot up at the rim. Because Brandon is coming. You might not know where, but he's coming.
Already early substitutions for Seton Academy. Christopher Seton, along with number 35, Johnny Patterson.
Now this is interesting because Johnny Patterson is coming in early for J.R. Tolliver. Tolliver is one of the horses for the Sting. Coach Thomas is trying to have Tolliver sit down and say, hey, I need you to watch the game from this point of view. Brandon Book is dominating the inside, and you need to talk with the assistant coaches to find out how he's beating us.
Now Armand Mooring, number 21 for Seton, comes back in. So that's 3 substitutions here in the first 3 minutes for the Sting. Zimmerman will have a major challenge all night long. Grapperhouse, he's been to the state finals twice. 4-year member of the varsity, he will give it up.
And that's what I love about the Cougars. They have guys that have been here before. When you've been here and you've experienced the Final Four down in Peoria, it helps you when going back.
You know, especially in those early moments. And we are in our early moments. And it's a low-scoring game. Seton Academy, the 4-2 lead in your Class 2A semifinal.
Jane goes to school from 7:45 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then must go to softball practice from 3:45 to 6 p.m., followed by jazz practice from 6:30 to 9 p.m. What are you doing between 3:45 and 9?
A recent survey of Fortune 500 executives showed that 95% participated in activities while in high school. So don't just go to school, go beyond with the IHSA.
The Illinois High School Association. Challenge yourself.
traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
It's our 4th game of the day. It's our 4th Realtor.com trivia question. Here you go. Can you name the future NBA trio dubbed the Three Amigos while leading Proviso East to the 1991 IHSA Class AA State Championship? We'll give you that answer in the second half of your trivia questions, brought to you by Realtor.com. Dave Bernhardt, along with my partner, the former Southern Illinois Saluki, Cameron Smith, Matt Rodewald working the sidelines. A low-scoring early start, and that's because these two teams struggling from the field. Central just 1 of 5 from the floor. Seton 1 of 6.
Well, this first quarter is a feel-out quarter, kind of like boxing. In that opening round, we see a steal by the Cougars. Wow.
Justin Becker.
Huge play to start. Wow. Coming out of the timeout, Justin with an open court steal and a layup.
He had 5 steals in the super sectional game, several of them late, and he ties this ball game up at 4.
And we talk about Seton's speed, but the Cougars have some deceptive speed out there.
It is their perimeter defense that has been the hallmark of their team this year. It's forced a Seton Academy turnover.
And the Breese Central coaches were screaming at the Cougars players saying, hey, get Brandon the ball. He's open in the post.
Tough pass. Nice catch by Grapperhaus. And Grapperhaus averaging 9.7 points per game.
Well, Nick is going to be a factor in this ball game because he does a little of everything. He defends, he passes the ball, he handles the ball, he shoots it at a high rate. So the Sting must make sure that they know where he is.
J.R. Tolliver back in the ball game, and he will go to the line to shoot 2. Well, Grapperhaus, we said, a 4-year member of this team. You get a good look at him right there. Honorable mention AP All-Stater. He came as a freshman because of his defense. That's quite a tribute to a young man at that age. You're on the varsity because of your defense. He's increasingly worked on his offensive game, and that's been coming along very nicely.
Well, anytime you can play defense, you're going to find minutes on the court. And to come in as a freshman to get minutes because of your defense, as you said, that's huge. You have to have a huge heart because I'm thinking he's maybe, 13, 14 years old his freshman year in high school. So he's a tough kid.
Tolliver misses that one badly after the Sting had made their first 3 free throws. A 1-point lead in the ball for the Cougars from Central.
And as I mentioned in the open, Breese Central wanted to control the pace of this game, and right now they're doing it, but they get to turn the ball over, but Seton turns it right back over again.
Good job defensively for Grapperhaus getting back after that turnover. He was able to disrupt the action a little bit.
But so far in this ball game, Breese Central has done a great job controlling this ball game. They're not rushed. They're not turning the basketball over at a high rate. They're running their offense. They're getting great looks. So hats off to the Cougars in this opening quarter.
Book, he can shoot the 3. The other way comes Kamal Shasi. Now Foster. Oliver. Rebound. Robinson taken out of his hands. He's denied the easy putback.
And that was a great play by Robinson on the rebounding side, but he brought the basketball down. You never want your big man to bring the ball down and put it to the floor. Keep it up high, outlet the ball back to another guard, and you can save the possession.
Foster very quick. Timmerman handling it nicely. It's a struggle though, and Foster takes it away. Little ragged. Ring it up for 3 from Kamal Shasi.
And that's what Kamal does.
It was Shasi's 4-point play with 7 seconds left in the first game of the tournament for Seton that sent that game into overtime against Chicago University High.
And he gets the defensive stop. He gets the turnover.
Kamal Shasi, a 6-foot junior. He'll light it up from anywhere. He's got the green light from anywhere.
Now that's almost NBA range, ladies and gentlemen, where Kamal shot that basketball. Then he comes back on the defensive end and forces the turnover against this man. 2 big plays by that guy.
Three guards for Seton. Foster, Chassis, Weems, all a little bit different offensively, and that one came up short. Chassis said he had somebody hit his wrist.
Well, I think anytime someone shoots an air ball, they always have to look at the official and say, hey, he hit my wrist, he hit my wrist. So hats off to Kamal for trying to talk to the ref and say, hey, can I get a foul out of that? I don't shoot air balls normally.
Gavin Thomas comes into the game. First time he's made an appearance for the Cougars. He is a 5'10 senior wearing number 21 in purple. Cook with a touch. Just one field goal here in the first quarter.
And the Cougars are going to spread Seton out on the offensive end. But another turnover.
Turnover by Justin Becker. That is 6 turnovers now for the Cougars. With a minute 32 left here in the first quarter, probably not the pace that they want to be at with that number.
Now, 3 minutes ago, I said they were controlling the pace. Now they're not controlling the pace because Seton is starting to get into their shorts. They're starting to speed the Cougars up.
Too much traffic inside on the bounce from Weems. A chance for the tie here for Central.
Oh.
The pick, the drive. Tolliver the follow after the Chassis steal.
And I love that play by J.R. Tolliver following his teammates in the open court. Didn't matter if Kamal made it or missed that layup. J.R. had his back.
Book. Tolliver high for the board.
Now J.R. is a different player since he's gotten off of the bench.
What a feed from Foster to Weems, who finishes.
And there's Mark Weems at the rim. But remember, early in this first quarter, head coach Brandon Thomas subbed J.R. Tolliver out of the ball game and spoke to him, and now Tolliver is a different guy out there. He has more energy on the boards and in transition.
Final 30 seconds.
And Breese Central is going to spread Seton out. It's a smart move. Whenever you're playing against teams that love to pressure and deny the wings, you want to spread them out, go back door, set some ball screens, but make sure that you have multiple driving lanes.
Becker in traffic. Final chance, final seconds. Can Weems get there? And that will bring our first quarter to a close, and how the Sting closed it. A 7-0 run for Seton Academy. We'll go to the second quarter. Sting on top of the Cougars, 12-6.
How come an insurance company thinks 15 minutes is enough time to do a good job? How come
insurance companies tell me how much I can save
before they even know what I need?
How come
nobody gives me a financial plan?
I can understand?
Country Financial does. Your country representative can help protect what you have now and prepare for the future.
Somebody who knows retirement planning and insurance.
No kidding.
At Country, we always ask, what's your idea of financial security?
Hungry? Yeah. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back. Getting set to start the second quarter here in our Class 2A semifinal. Matt Rodewald with you at Seton Academy, ripping off a couple of baskets and getting the pace to go their way. You know, in the playoffs, though, they haven't been able to get the pace the way they wanted to. In the regular season, averaging 88 points a game. They crossed the 90 mark 7 different times. But in the tournament, it's been a different story. 60.4 points per game. And talking to Brandon Thomas as to why, he says fast has just not worked for us in the playoffs. And he credits the coaches that he's faced for being able to slow the pace down, get it to the tempo that his opponents have wanted it to. 5 tough games from 5 real tough opponents for the Seton Sting. Now, real quick, as we check on IHSA.org and all the scores, that's the place to get all the scores of Class 3A and Class 4A sectional games. And we have overtime once again in Peoria, down the street. Peoria and Washington, Peoria Central and Washington tied at 53. We'll keep you posted. Go online to IHSA.org for the final.
Thanks, Matt. And of course, next week we're setting you up for Class 3A and 4A right here at Carver Arena. We're in Class 2A basketball right now. A 12-6 lead here as we open up the second quarter with Matt Rodewald, Cameron Smith. I'm Dave Bernhardt. Thanks for joining us. And Cameron, for Breese, they've kind of fallen into the trap that a lot of teams have with Seton.
Yes, they have 7 turnovers and shot the ball 3 of 10 from the field. Now, opening that first quarter, they did a good job of taking care of the basketball, getting open looks, but that Seton pressure turned up, and that resulted in 7 turnovers for the Cougars.
Book works on Tolliver.
Now, I like that matchup between Tolliver and Book. These two guys are going at it. You wouldn't find me down there trying to battle Brandon Book on the block or trying to get good post position against J.R. Tolliver. Those guys will throw me down to the ground like a rag doll.
Out of Southern Illinois University, those good tough Salukis. Isn't that what you were?
Well, we were tough, but when you're outweighed by 70 pounds, you're fighting a losing battle.
That's 9 turnovers now for Central. We're just 45 seconds in a long dry spell here for Breese Central. 5 minutes and 54 seconds. That's when their last field goal was made. Boy, that's coming up almost on 8 minutes now.
Yes.
Tolliver and Book on this end. And Book forces him into a travel.
Yes, JR got a little case of happy feet on that play. Thought he had the position on Brandon Book, but Brandon did a great job of holding his ground, getting low, putting his arms up, getting a wide base, and forcing that turnover by Tolliver.
Into the game now, number 3, Tyler Williams for Seton. Already, Brandon Thomas has gone, what, 10 people deep into his bench?
Seems like 50.
That's what it seems like to Breese Central right now. An air ball from Rickoff.
Now you have to watch out because the Sting are deadly in transition.
Weems looks at it, the 3. Robinson nearly gets the tip. Look at Shotzi inside, that's rejected by Book. Grapperhouse the other way.
Nice job by Nick Grapperhouse on that layup. A little sidestep against his defender, and he almost gets the steal, but a beautiful display of ball handling by Mark Weems.
Boy, what a great play by Grapperhouse. That was a big exchange right there for Central. Near tip for a bucket for Robinson, and it ends up in a basket the other way. For the Cougars, there's Grapperhouse again. We see his defensive prowess.
And Nick is inflating the confidence of his team. They're more confident. As we see Brandon Book picking up the blocking call. But check this play out by Mark Weems. You can't learn this type of move at any camp. You have to learn that move in the streets, on the playgrounds. Mark with some nice handles on that play. But he's done a great job of leading his team every game. Whether it's scoring the basketball, defending, getting other teammates involved, he is a true leader.
He averages 14.7 points per game. He has a high of 30 this season. That 30 actually came in the regional championship game over last year's 2A state champion, Hales Franciscan. That was just a 62-55 win. It's not been an easy road for Seton Academy.
Not at all, because they had to face Hales Franciscan, they had to face Chicago Leo, 2 Catholic League teams that know what Seton is going to do. So those 3 teams always battle each other.
Seton now 5 of 6 from the free throw line. They defend on the other end, and that will be a foul. Trying to poke it in there. That foul to be charged to Christopher Seton. Just the 4th team foul here for Seton here in the first half.
Christopher Seton with his hand in between Justin Becker's arms, picking up that foul.
You know, and that's the other thing you can do when you play 9 or 10 people. You have a lot of fouls you can use up.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it wears on your opponent when you keep sending waves of guys that can get down and guard you full court. Wow.
Oh, a fadeaway 3 from Brandon Book, his 57th 3 of the year.
I think people understand why I say Brandon Book is the real deal.
Jordan Foster will answer the other way with 2, but here come the Cougars.
How about the Cougars beating the Sting down the floor?
Now they'll set up the half-court offense. Becker passed up the long one.
But look at the Cougars spacing. They have great spacing. Except for that play right there, they have great spacing, which allows them to get good shots and get to the basket.
Book can't get that one to go. There's Becker, gets Robinson in the air.
Smart play by the junior, Justin Becker, giving Russell Robinson a shot fake to get the big fella off his feet.
5th team foul on Seton Academy. Robinson picks up his first. Stan Eagleson looks on. Back of the iron for Becker, a 57% free throw shooter. Back into the game, number 30, Austin Rickoff, Justin Becker at the line. He'll split a pair of free throws, and he will pull Breese Central within 4. But Brandon Book, how about this? Tough fadeaway 3, propelling the Cougars.
Boom! Hey, where are you going? You can't get by me. I'm number 1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm number 1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am the king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes, skating, movies, zoo, whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Well, we're extremely fortunate to make it here. To make it here once is unreal, and to be back here again is something else. So I just want to make sure I'm a leader this time and show the kids that haven't been here, kind of help them through it and make sure they have the best time.
Last time Nick Grapperhouse was here was 2 years ago when he was a sophomore. His team finished 4th in the state. That actually is a game there that they lost twice in that tournament. They've lost 5 games in a row, the Cougars have, here in the state finals, making their 5th trip in the last 10 years. Nick Grapperhouse, who quite likely will not play college basketball, making the most of it here in Peoria here in his senior season. Right out of the break, ripping the net for 3 is Christopher Seton.
And that's a great play out of a timeout for Seton. Getting Christopher a nice look at the top of the key. And he switched it.
And pushes the lead up to 7 at 19-12. Book wants it inside. Look at that handle inside. Book pushed out a little bit. Ramon Goodlow into the game, pounding Book.
Well, I love to see Book working those blocks. Now, he can step out and knock down those threes, and he's shooting over 41% on the season. And he's shooting 50% from the floor, so if you leave this guy open, he's going to make you pay for it.
Grapperhouse looks for him. Grapperhouse a drive and a reverse.
Nice reversal, Nick Grapperhouse, the veteran, the savvy veteran, getting to the basket and utilizing the rim to shield off Russell Robinson so he can make that layup.
Boy, you said it, the savvy veteran. You can just feel that, the control he has and the confidence that he plays with.
Yes, he's been here before, and I'm sure his teammates have had conversations with Nick, asking him, hey, Nick, how is it? What is it like when you run out on the court? How is it shooting the basketball in this arena? And Nick has probably told those guys, hey, it's just like shooting in our gym. You know, the rim is 10 feet high, basketball bounces the same way.
Comes up short on that 3, but now Book a chance to get 3 his own way.
How about that? The veterans, Grapperhouse and Book involved on that play. Nick unsuccessful on that 3-point attempt, but Brandon Book has his back. Nice attempt by Nick, but Seton has to do a better job of finding where Brandon Book is. They have to locate him and put a body on him. Now J.R. Tolliver is back into the game for the Sting, and this is a smart move by head coach Brandon Thomas, because he knows that he has to get some meat out there for his team to contend with Brandon Book on the boards.
Book comes in averaging 20.2 points per game, 8.8 rebounds. You see right there, 7.6 boards already, make it 8 points, and make it a 2-point game just like that.
Now he's crawling towards the triple-double right now. I mean, 8 points and 6 rebounds. We still have 3 minutes left in this first half. High possibility he might have that double-double before the first half is over.
Double teamed inside, the strength to drop it in is J.R. Tolliver.
Now that's all muscle right there by J.R. Tolliver. A little bit of skill dashed in with that.
Book 3. Nice board by Johnny Patterson. The other way, Tolliver takes it right at Book. Grapperhouse wants to push. Ends up in the hands of Timmerman. Here come the Sting.
Now this is where Seton needs to get some baskets in transition. They've been unsuccessful trying to get something at the rim.
But somehow they convert. Finishing it is Kamal Shashi.
Kamal Shashi picking up the loose change and getting the basket. But the Sting have not gotten many transition points in this first half. Breese Central's done a great job in defensive transition and communicating and stopping the basketball. That's always key when you play against a team that loves to run in transition. You have to stop the ball first.
Rebound to Weems off the miss by Rickoff.
Nice pass.
Unable to convert is Patterson off the feed from Shashi.
And Johnny tried to dunk the basketball. You want to lay that ball up. As we saw in our first game, Dave, some of these kids want to try and get the spectacular play, but hey, you need points. You need to make the plays and finish the plays. Kamal Shashi made a great in-and-out move and then found Johnny Patterson for a wide-open layup, and Johnny tried to attempt a dunk. Just lay it up, young guy. You want to get your points.
Shashi will have a seat at the 2:02 mark. He'll be replaced by Curtis Cross. Now the Sting have played 11 players here in the first half to the free throw line. Jacob Timmerman, 61% on the season. That stops a little mini 4-0 run by Seton.
And Dave, we always touch on how deep Seton is. I would have loved to went to one of their practices. Man, I'm sure those guys get after it, get after each other in practice. Doesn't matter if you're a starter or you're coming off the bench. They're very competitive.
They come into this game 28-4, all of their losses coming to Class 3A and 4A teams. Lost to Crete-Monee, Rich South, or Farragut. Those teams a combined record of 76-32. Much like U-High that we saw in the first game. Rebound, Weems. Weems just can't get it through that maze of purple.
Well, he made a nice pivot move for Mr. Kyler Shear right there with his hands up and getting a block. Now, this is a great reverse pivot by Mark Weems, but Kyler Shear is waiting for him right there. Great timing.
16 rebounds now for Seton. For Central, they have 14 boards. Down to a minute 20. On the pull-up, and a nice roll for Jordan Foster.
Jordan Foster getting some love from the rim, and we see a steal. Pressure by the Sting. Curtis Cross in the front court.
That becomes the 10th turnover here in the first half, and this is what happens. It can happen in bunches, and it can happen quickly. Nearly a pick the other way by Becker. Off the iron for Foster. Central was within 2 moments ago. There'll be a foul on Curtis Cross.
Nick Grapperhouse was fortunate enough to get himself out of that trap between the sideline and the Seton defender. You see Jacob Timmerman going to the free throw line. These free throws could be big, could cut it to a 4-point lead if he knocks down both.
There for a 1-and-1. Not going to get the second. Foster on the handoff to Weems. How about Grapperhouse?
Great defense. I think this kid came out of the womb playing defense. He's just a great defender. But I love what head coach Stan Eagleson is doing with his ball club. He's getting them back in transition. Everyone's running to the paint first. They're not spacing out and trying to stop the ball in the open court. They know they can't contend with Seton speed, so they're sprinting everyone to the paint and playing a packed-in man-to-man defense.
into the hands of Book. Gets a good look. What a soft touch. 10th point of the night for the 6'6" senior.
And that dribble by Brandon allowed him to get some rhythm on that shot.
Well, he's hit a couple of fadeaways, and as his coach Stan Eagleson says, coaches really don't like fadeaways because it takes you out of rebounding position, but he's okay with Brandon shooting.
Oh, yeah, let him shoot the fadeaways because you know it's going to go in.
Here's a three. In and out for Foster with 3 seconds. One more shot. Book. Got it!
Wow. Brandon Book, the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. Knocking down a 3 to cut Seton's lead down to 1. And that has inspired this Cougars ball club.
How about the state of mind of Nick Rapperhouse? He's looking at the clock. He knows he's got 1 pass left in him, and he found the right man.
The chemistry between Nick Rapperhouse and Brandon Book is unbelievable. They know where each other is on the floor. And Brandon knew it was going in. You saw him put his arm in there. He said, I know that's good.
13.7 rebounds for the 6'6" All-Stater. His second 3 of the night has cut it 2-1. We'll go to break. It's Seton Academy 25, Breese Central 24.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Well, aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
From the gridiron to the hardwood, on the links or on the track, on the diamond or on the ice. Go to prepfilms.com. It's easy. You can order your DVD online. At prepfilms.com, you make the memories. We'll make them last forever.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Well, aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school. When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
IHSA Network Halftime is presented by Realtor.com. Realtor.com's real estate search app makes researching neighborhoods and finding homes for sale easy. Download it for your smartphone in your market or at Realtor.com/mobile.
1 point lead for Seton and the Sting here at the half. Brandon Thomas, you saw that 3 at the end. That's got to hurt momentum-wise, but you played well against the style.
Yeah, we want to come out and put some pressure on their guard to see if we can create some offense off of our defense. I thought our offense was a little stagnant. We struggled to get the type of shots that we want. The tempo is where we wanted to go. I think we just got to do a better job of taking care of the ball ourselves.
You said it's been hard in the playoffs to get it to the fast pace that you wanted to. Does that mean that maybe at this point, working it on the defense, forcing the traps, maybe forcing the issue? Will we see that in the second half?
Well, yeah, definitely. We're gonna pick our spots though. We're not gonna force it. We don't want to give these guys opportunities, fast break opportunities and numbers on us.
Okay, Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Okay, head coach Brandon Thomas, a 1 point lead for the Sting. Number 2 versus number 1 here in the Class 2A semifinals.
Grandpa!
There he is.
I love staying here. How long have you lived here?
A long time. You know, your mother grew up here.
I'm gonna have a house like this when I grow up.
I hope so, buddy. hope so.
For the first time in generations, the dream of home ownership is being threatened. Realtors, members of the National Association of Realtors, are here to represent you and protect home ownership.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Nice. Yes, go! Yes! No! Come on! Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
It's a 1-point lead for Seton, with neither team being able to agree on the pace and the style of this game, so we're going to settle for a 1-point lead in a very tight game. And when you see these team stats, they're remarkably even. Let's go through the highlights real quick. Seton's been trying to get into the lane, but it's all about Brandon Book. He's denied it on the defensive end, and offensively, a very good night. 5 of 10 shooting, a couple of threes, 7 rebounds from him, double figures with 13 points, and right at the end of the half, right there, that 3 from the top of the key. And that's why we have a 1-point lead for Seton as Central cuts it down right before the break, going in with great momentum. Look at the shooting percentages, just 1 shot off with 36% for Seton leading the way. Pretty much the same thing for 3-point shooting and free throws, and look at the rebounding advantage. Not much by Seton there, 17-16. Turnovers are fairly even, and points in the paint, and we have a pretty even game so far between number 1 and number 2. Who will face U High in the Class 2A state championship game tomorrow? We'll find out after this on the IHSA television network.
I'm Donna Jeske, a 4th-generation farmer from Mazan, Illinois. Family farmers like me are a lot like you, but we still have to earn your trust every day. Growing the best and safest food we can raise, and protecting the world we live in. All of that makes me a lot like you. And a lot like the 94% of Illinois farmers who are family farmers.
Hey, my name's Katie and I'm in the 9th grade. I'm an A average student and I'm an athlete working towards a scholarship. And everybody tells me how much potential I have. But I just wish someone would tell me where my next meal is coming from. Katie, how'd I do?
Do you have to be so serious?
Well, I mean, I did like a crazy dance in a movie if you want me to, like, you know, do a little, no.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
All right, guys, we gotta be smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're gonna run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm gonna run around in circles, flap my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up.
To play 60!
If your school doesn't have a program, be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
Eureka High School Pep Band welcoming you back here to Carver Arena. We're glad you've joined us here tonight for your Class 2A semifinal. U High of Normal will be playing a state championship ball game. We still have a couple of quarters, possibly more here to decide who their opponent will be. Dave Bernard along with former SIU Saluki Cameron Smith. And Cameron, there was a couple of occasions in the first half where you just had the feeling that Central just may be falling out a little bit, but then they make some adjustments.
Yeah, they made adjustments by moving the basketball and spreading their offense out all around the court. They created driving lanes and also back doors for their team, and that's why they're only down 1 point at the half.
Isn't it nice when you have an all-stater on your team? He's 6'6", and he can get the big shots. That's exactly what's happened here for Central, and Brandon Book scoring 5 points in the last 31 seconds of the half. And that's why we have a 1-point game.
Hey, great party. Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well. This is well done. No. That's medium well. What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned. That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
You gotta be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
My name is Fernanda. I'm the wife of a teacher. Budget cuts affected my husband's salary, so I'm picking up some part-time work. We're doing everything we can to make sure our kids eat today. Tomorrow, I just don't know. Fernanda, how'd I do? Well, I usually fold the underwear first. I meant the acting, but good to know.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Oh, come on now. It's a 1-point game. I know it's a long night. All right, we'll let you sleep during the half. 25-24, let's check in with Matt Rodewald.
Big three by Brandon there at the half. That's got to help you momentum-wise.
Yeah, it absolutely does. You know, the kids are feeling better about themselves going into the locker room. We really struggle taking care of the basketball. We got to take better care of the basketball, and then we got to make some of the open looks we do get. We got some open looks. We just got to put it in the hole.
They've had spurts where they've been able to get out in transition and get the pace that they want to. How do you prepare for that, and how do you adjust here in the second half?
Well, you know, we don't mind getting up and down. We want to get out and run. You know, I think, 4 or 6 of our points came in transition too. We just don't want to give up layups. You know, you got to keep Foster and Weems from getting a quick outlet and looking up the floor quick, and just get back.
Okay, Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Trying to limit possessions as Stan Eagleson tries to clinch a bid to the state championship game. Dave?
Here in his 26th season at Breese Central, a record number of wins, 32-1. They have earned them their #1 status coming into this ball game. #2 is Seton. Well, this is the 4th game and a big day here. Boy, you've had some great ball games here in your 1A and 2A matchups. First of all, it was Carrollton, a couple of free throws by Joey Coonrod to defeat Illini Central. Those 2 free throws coming in the final 10 seconds. Woodlawn an easy time with North Shore Country Day, 62-44. If you're with us earlier this evening, you saw one that came down to the final possession before U High put away Rockford Lutheran 55-52. And what more can you say here at the half? A 1-point difference. It's exactly what the folks come to Peoria to see, and everybody here in the IHSA television network tunes in to see how this will play out.
Well, they're seeing some great basketball by both of these teams in the first half. Both of them have made adjustments at halftime, so it's going to be interesting to see how Seton will be able to get in transition with Breese Central getting back and sending their defenders to the paint first instead of trying to stop the ball in the open court.
You know, neither team will be intimidated by this situation. As we said, Seton playing almost an entire 3A, 4A schedule all year. Breese Central just 1 loss in the season. The last 4 years, 122 wins and 12 losses. That tells me this is a team that takes that floor. They don't care who they're playing. They expect to win a ball game.
They have a great program, and hats off to head coach Stan Eagleson. He's done a great job at Breese Central. Been there for 30 years. That is dedication and pride. So I know he's inspired his players to say, hey, we're representing not only Breese Central, but our community. Everyone wants to see us succeed, so let's go out here and give them a good show.
It was a confidence bounce the Cougars had coming out of their locker room back on to this floor, and now for Seton, defending our champs from 2009, trying to extend a very nice run of Chicagoland victories. North Lawndale 2008 champs, Seton in 2009. Hales last season, Hales Franciscan. That shot is blocked by Kamal Shasi. We get started here in the second half.
Well, this Seton defense has some holes in it. These guys aren't doing a good job of communicating and help each other out on these rebounds. Now, Breese Central doesn't have the height that Seton has, but they're doing a great job of just being scrappy and getting offensive rebounds.
A layup by Grapperhaus would have given the Cougars the lead. There's a foul underneath that will go against Seton.
And that's a prime example of the scrappiness of the Cougars.
That'll be Mark Weems, his second foul. He and Chassis with 2 fouls on the other side. Book has 2 personal, so nobody in any real foul trouble here.
Now, this is Central's third possession. We haven't been to the other side of the floor. They've had 3 possessions already.
In and out for Book.
Make it a 4th possession. A 5th possession.
27 seconds, 5 possessions. No points to show for it, but showing you mean business down here.
But it wears on the defense, especially mentally, when you keep seeing your opponent getting possessions, getting offensive rebounds. They're getting energized by this play.
Kick out. Rickoff. There's the ball. Still loose. And the Sting will have it.
And that's what you love to see from both of these teams. Getting down on the floor, getting dirty, getting some floor burns. They want this game. One of these teams want to play U High for the 2A state championship.
Foster wiggles his way in. He will draw the foul and he will head to the free throw line. Jordan Foster averaging 8.6 points per game.
Now I like this drive by Jordan Foster. In that first half he was settling for that pull-up jump shot. This time he got in deep into the paint and drew a foul on the Cougars.
Jordan Foster, who attended the same grammar school in Oak Park, Gwendolyn Brooks Middle School, as Evan Turner. Now at the Philadelphia 76ers, and also Amon Shumpert to the New York Knicks. In fact, he grew up with Shumpert. He's worked out with him on several occasions.
They're growing some great talent in that Oak Park area.
Foster, though, unable to get either one of his 2 free tosses.
Now, even though this third quarter hasn't gone Seton's way with the multiple possessions by the Cougars and then 2 missed free throws by Jordan Foster, they still have a 1-point lead.
Book steps in, and Tolliver gets him on the follow-through.
It's just not a smart play by J.R. Tolliver on that sequence. You never want to foul a jump shooter, especially Brandon Book. I know he has a great jump shot, but you have to chop your feet. You have to close out. If you leave your feet, you're at a disadvantage.
You get a good look at the first team All-Staters. We said he averages 20 points per game to lead the team. Guess what else he leads in? How about free throw shooting at 85%? Also leads the team in 56 made 3-pointers.
Does he drive the team bus as well? And does the team homework?
Yeah, the team homework. And he's tied this ball game up. 14 points tonight for Book. We've got a new ball game with 6:35 to play in the third quarter.
And I want to see the Sting on this possession get more movement offensively. It's just one guy doing something for the offense, which is Jordan Foster.
A block by Book.
That's the second block that Brandon Book has had on a Sting player that has penetrated too deep. And when they put their heads up, it's too late because Brandon's coming from the weak side for the block.
Central looking to break our third tie of the evening. Tolliver's going to get another one right there. That will be his second foul. Here's Book's block the other end.
And you see Jordan Foster, his head is down, and at the last second he puts it up, and then big number 50 is right there, arms up, and he gets the block.
Nice pass inside, nice cut, the block by Weems on Timmerman. Grapperhaus for 3.
Big shot by the senior Nick Grapperhaus, stepping up for the Cougars to get the lead, 28-25. You can hear the Breese Central fans getting on their feet and getting loud. They've opened this third quarter with some great play, especially on the offensive end.
Foster, a tough shot.
Now that is very tough. That's a crowd silencer on that jumper by Jordan Foster. The air was taken out of Carver Arena when that ball went through the net. And that's what I want Seton to get back to. Send some traps. Try and create a little more chaos. They have the speed to send traps and recover quickly, but Jordan Foster, that step back was deadly. Woo.
Book working on Tolliver.
That's a battle within a battle. Brandon Book and J.R. Tolliver. Tolliver has to be careful. He doesn't want to pick up another foul.
And now Central working on a 12-4 run that dates back into the second quarter. And a foul again. Boy, Central has really had their way on this end of the floor.
They really have, and Russell Robinson is looking at the official saying, hey, what did I do? I just had my hand straight up. Let's see what the foul was. Well, I think the official's interpretation is, hey, if your arms are slanted and the player goes up, you're impeding their progress to the rim. You have to have your hands straight up, so that's why Russell picked up that foul. He's going to head to the bench as Johnny Patterson comes into the game.
Second foul on Robinson, but it's the 5th team foul on Seton, and we've only played 3 minutes here in the second half.
And Russell Robinson going to the bench takes away from that intimidation factor that the Sting have inside that paint.
2 free throws for Rickoff. Puts that lead back at 3, 30-27. Again, this is a Seton Academy team that had been averaging about 80 points per game. Weems missed that 3 badly. Tolliver battling inside. Book blocks Tolliver's shot. And they'll go held ball, and Book got smacked.
Yeah, Brandon took an elbow from J.R. Tolliver after the play.
Timeout on the floor. Things are getting serious in Peoria. You don't want to get in the middle of this.
He took an elbow.
How come nobody told me about all the hidden costs
of cheap insurance?
How come?
How come insurance companies tell me how much I can save
Before they even know what I need?
How come?
How come nobody asked me what my idea
of retirement is?
Country Financial does. Your country representative can help protect what you have now and prepare for the future.
Somebody who knows retirement planning
and insurance.
I like that.
At Country, we always ask, what's your idea of financial security?
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans.
These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids.
Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. So is the solution.
Give a gift of meals to a family in need. Visit feedingamerica.org/giveameal today.
Three amigos, Michael Finley, Donnie Boyce, and Sherelle Ford. They were the future NBA trio dubbed the Three Amigos when they led Proviso East to the 1991 IHSA Class AA State Championships. Our trivia questions and answers brought to you here in our 2A and 1A tournaments by Realtor.com.
Well, Dave, I'll let you in a little story. I played against Sherelle Ford last week in the men's league in Chicago.
Did you?
It did not go well for me. He still has it. If anyone is wondering if Sherelle Ford still has game, he still has it. Trust me, I know.
Well, his teammate Donnie Boyce hopes to show up right here on this floor in 1 week. Donnie Boyce, the head coach for Proviso East. Take a look back.
Brandon Book is going to pick up that foul. And he did get some arm on that play. Brandon can't believe it, saying, me? Are you sure? Are you sure?
So 3 fouls with 4:40 to play in the third quarter.
Well, if Seton has an Achilles heel, it is the free throw line. They have a tough time knocking down free throws, and J.R. Tolliver is only a 56% free throw shooter on the year. So they struggle a lot.
They're struggling tonight, just 5 of 10 from the line. They trail by 3. Here comes the pressure. Weems. Another block, his 5th. The other way, Grapperhouse converts.
Nice side step by Nick Grapperhouse, but Brandon Book started that transition play for the Cougars. Getting the block, Breese Central getting out in transition. Mark Weems with a nice crossover.
Tolliver fighting inside after the miss from Patterson.
And Brandon Book is going to start this transition for the Cougars. Mark Williams gets the offensive rebound, but Brandon's waiting right there again. Gets out in transition. Nick Grapperhaus makes a nice sidestep and kisses the ball off of the glass. That's a heady play by the senior.
Again, 3 personal fouls on Brandon Book right now, sitting with 14 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks. And that one will crawl in for Tolliver.
But if Seton Academy is going to win this game, they need to start finishing at the rim. They're getting a lot of opportunities inside of the paint at the rim to finish, but it's either results in missed shots or block shots.
After missing 2 his previous trip to the line, Tolliver varies a couple. Brings it back to a 3-point difference. Turman gives it up to Book. Different level of pressure put on here by the Sting. Book with 2 players flying at him, hits a 3.
Wow, great touch by the big guy. Over 40% shooter, and he knocks another one down. Seton has to recognize where he is on the floor. You cannot let that happen.
17 points tonight, 3 3-pointers, 59 on the season, and a 6-point lead for Breese, their biggest of the night.
But look at the ball moving by the Cougars. Everyone, well, 3 people touched the ball on that possession, and Brandon Book just walks right into his sweet spot.
Austin Rickoff picks up his 4th foul. Kamal Shasi to the free throw line. Averages 11.3 points per game.
And since that 3 that Kamal has hit in the first half, we haven't really heard anything from him. I mean, he's a guy that needs to score the basketball. When he's scoring the basketball, it raises the level of play from the Seton Academy Sting. He needs to get himself going in this ball game.
Free throw shooting woes continue, however, the rebound will come off to Shasi. Tolliver working on Book. Book with 3 personals. Disrupts the shot, however, the putback goes for Brandon Woods.
And it's a nice job by Brandon Woods being on the opposite side of the floor, using those long arms to get that rebound and layup.
Weems with a little bit of a bump. Mark Weems will pick up the personal foul for Weems. That will be his 3rd.
And I know Brandon Thomas is not happy with that play with Mark Weems. You always teach your players, especially on the defensive end, to put your foot out of bounds. Make the player try and run over you. You don't want to try and bump them with your hips. Use the sideline as another defender.
Tolliver doing the best he can with Brandon Book. It's not enough.
Well, Brandon Book has it going. He was cooking in the first half. Now he's eating well in this second half.
37-31, Central. Tolliver wants to answer the other way. There's Grapperhaus again, getting his hands in on the action.
Well, Dave, I'll tell you this. My chest hurts watching these 2 bulls go at each other on those blocks. I mean, you have to be a man down there to check either J.R. Tolliver or Brandon Book.
Foster from the top.
That is huge. That is a huge 3 by Jordan Foster. It's a 3-point game. Now Seton is able to get in their full court pressure defense.
9 points for Foster. 37-34. 2.5 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Book, triple team. Shasi the steal, but returned the other way. And they're going to get Foster on the push. What an exchange in a space of about 3-foot diameter.
Very chaotic play. When you have to realize if you get the basketball, someone is either coming to swipe or hit your arm. So if you get it, you have to be strong with that ball.
Book will take a little bit of a breather here. Checking in for him will be Andrew Schulte. You can see Book. He's gassed. You talk about the 2 bulls fighting.
It wears on you. That physical play wears on you, but it's going to be interesting to see how Breese Central can play with Book on the bench.
Kyle Shear can't get it. Long one would tie it.
And Seton should attack on this play. Russell Robinson is back into the game, so that will help with rebounding.
Taken out of there by Grapperhaus.
Quick hands by Nick.
And they'll get the foul call on Brandon Woods. He came as a freshman as a defensive specialist. He's making it happen as a senior.
That is beautiful. That was a beautiful strip by Nick Grapperhouse, and he picks up the foul on the Seton defender. But he just knows his timing is great on the defensive end, whether it's sliding his feet or getting his hands in for a steal. Playing on the varsity since his freshman year.
He denies a possible 2 points on one end, and he'll look to get 2 on the other. Contrast in free throwing here tonight for Central. They're 8 of 12. On the other side, Seton 7 of 14.
And free throws win basketball games, so you have to knock down those opportunities.
Four-point difference under 2 minutes, third quarter.
Seton in their offense. I would love to see more dribble weave with Jordan Foster, Kamal Shashi, and Mark Weems. I want to see those guys get into some dribble weave action and attack those gaps.
Shashi's pass too hot to handle for Robinson.
It was a nice look by Shashi, but just a little too much strength on that play. And here comes Brandon Book. He's at the scorer's table. He's going to check back in.
10th turnover of the night for the Seton Academy Sting. 28 wins and just 4 losses. Started the season 13-0.
Well, this last minute and 32 of this third quarter is going to be very vital because this sets you up for the fourth quarter.
Much like Book's 3 at the buzzer set up Central for the third quarter. Good luck, Grapperhouse. No. Book keeps it alive, but here comes the Sting.
And Seton needs to convert on this transition play.
Foster looking for a whistle, didn't get it. The block goes out of bounds as Woods tried to put that one in.
And Brandon Thomas is begging the officials to call a foul. Saying, hey, my guy Brandon Woods got hammered on that play. Where's the call? He should be at the free throw line.
Now Book will come out again here with 1:07 left. A little bit too dangerous there for a possible 4th foul in that little exchange.
This is a nice play to get your shooter open.
Shashi thought he was fouling that one, but a partial block. But a foul will be called against Seton. It will be Woods. And that will be the 10th team foul here with 61 seconds to play in the third quarter.
Well, Brandon Book, he's just rearranging basketballs with these blocks. Taking the air out of them. You can hear him all the way at the top of the rafters, how hard his hand is hitting the ball. And that block, that last block led to a Nick Grapperhouse layup. This kid has been a factor inside of the paint, outside of the paint, everywhere on the floor. His game is huge.
That was actually the 9th team foul against Seton. Weems. Tolliver, no.
But I like what J.R. Tolliver did on that play. Big offensive rebound, and he's getting to the free throw line. Now he's going to have to knock the free throws down. But when Seton's attacking, they're a better team. When they're just being perimeter oriented, they're not going to do much. When they're attacking the rim and slashing and getting to the rim or finishing, they're at their best.
Tolliver on a streak of 3 in a row from the line. Now once again, Book will come back in, play a little offense here in the final 51 seconds.
And we saw in that first quarter, Mark Weems got off to a good start, but he's another player for Seton that's kind of faded into the background. Hasn't really done too much since that strong first quarter.
And tracked down by Woods. A 3-point difference in the final minute of the third quarter.
And that's big because it gives Seton another possession before this third quarter is over.
Foster stops and banks.
That is a nice play by Jordan Foster. That is when Seton is at their best, when they're attacking like that.
Book, Grapperhouse, Book, and a block.
How about that? Johnny Patterson, no fear. Probably outweighed by 100 pounds with Brandon Book coming at him, but he gets a big block. He's been a spark off the bench for the Sting.
Tyler Shearer with it. Finds Book. Tough going here for the Cougars. And a steal with time.
They have to attack the rim.
Shossi, though, will light it up from three. Nope. Tip-a-tip Henderson. Nope. Book at the buzzer. Can he do it again? Not this time. But once again, we will start a quarter with a 1-point difference. It was a 1-point game at the half. To the final 8 minutes we go. It's an 38-37 lead for the number 1 team over number 2.
And so, after due deliberation and much hard work on the part of both agencies, we've decided to award the contract to Abercrombie and Teetweiler.
What? You gotta be kidding me! Bad call, jeez.
This is pathetic!
Those ads went out with dancing cigarettes. What are you, blind? What are you, deaf? What are you, out of your mind? Fixed.
Yeah, salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, swap us next Sunday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Matt Rodewald with you here at Carver Arena. We are heading to the wire with Breese Central, the number 1 team in Class 2A, leading the number 2 team, Seton Academy, by 1 point. And talking about Breese Central, Stan Eagleson has 2 guys who have extremely high amount of experience and IQ. These 2 guys, Grapperhaus, Nick Grapperhaus, the 5'10" senior, and the All-Stater Brandon Book. Both of these kids have been up with the varsity since freshman, but for 2 different reasons. Grapperhaus with his defensive play, we mentioned that earlier. He's strong and smart, and Brandon Book with his obvious talent, and they show his defensive capability. He's only been in foul trouble once all season long, and it was the 1 game they lost. Right now, you can see Stan Eagleson the last 2.5 minutes of the 3rd quarter going offense for defense, keeping Book out of defensive possessions. He's got 3 fouls, trying to avoid that 4th.
Thank you, Matt. As Grapperhaus missed that 3 coming out of it on the offensive end, they get it inside to Shear. And then foul will be called on Seton. That will be their 11th team foul. It doesn't matter right now because there's going to be a 2-shot free throw anyway for Kyler Shear, but every time the Cougars step to the line, they will get 2. And these rims have shrunk here a little bit in the 3rd quarter at Carver Arena. Seton just 4 of 16 from the floor. Central 4 of 12.
And these 2 teams are battling each other. I mean, when they're on defense, they're making it tough for their opponent to get shots off, to have easy drives to the basket, and to finish at the rim. So those legs are heavy right now.
Shearer splits his 2 free throws. Becker gets his hand in on it. Unable to completely save it. Seton Academy, the ball down by 2, the 2009 state champs. In 2010, Central finished 4th in the state. Foster, fadeaway.
Tough shot by Jordan Foster. He's putting the sting on his back in this 2nd half. He's the leading scorer with 13 points. J.R. Tolliver is the 2nd leading scorer. As we see J.R. pick up a silly foul on that. You don't want to foul on that type of play. And that's the 2nd time he's being caught hitting Brandon Book's arm. That's just not a smart play. I'm sure head coach Brandon Thomas is going to tell him that if Tolliver comes to the bench, but you can't do things like that and expect to win and stay in this ball game.
Brandon Thomas, in his 2nd year as the head coach, he was an assistant on the 2009 state title team. Book at the line, looking to break our 4th tie of the night, and he does just that. Book right at his season's average of 20. Now Tolliver will come out, and there will be the conversation you are looking for there, Mr. Smith.
And Brandon has been there before because he's won a couple of state championships during his playing days in high school in Texas. So he's trying to give a little insight or a little advice to JR on why you shouldn't do that. Now JR has to sit down, and JR has really been one of the catalysts on the boards for the Sting.
Russell Robinson replaces Tolliver. He has it now. 41-39, under 7 to play. An offensive foul, a push.
Yeah, Johnny Patterson was never set on that screen. He was starting to slip before he set the screen. You have to have both feet on the floor.
It'll be the 4th foul called on Woods.
But if you look at Seton's scoring, Jordan Foster has 13 points. J.R. Tolliver has 8. Then from there, Mark Williams has 6. Kamal Shashi has 5. And then it just goes down and down from there. They're not getting production from some of their featured players, which is Shashi and Mark Williams. They need to have those guys in the ball game scoring.
Book got Robinson in the air. Again, another chance here for Seton Academy for the tie or maybe more. Saved into the hands of Timmerman. Ahead to Shear. And they're going to count the bucket on the drive by Kyler Shear.
And that is a huge play by Kyler. Absorbing the contact and finishing the layup. Look at him run his lane. He's right down the middle. I'm sure Kyler's done that all season long through practice and games. He knows which lane to run, feels his lane, gets the pass, absorbs the contact, and finishes the play.
A chance to stretch the lead to 5. Not going to happen. Tolliver back in the ball game. He goes hard, the runner. Battle inside, won by Robinson. This one won by Book. Brandon Book with the double-double now. 21 points, 10 rebounds. He will trigger the inbound with 5:57 left.
But you can't fault the Sting on this play. Attacking the boards, they just aren't finishing. They're getting so many opportunities at the rim to score. They just can't put the ball in the basket. Now, if you're Breese Central, you don't have to rush right now. You have a 4-point lead. You can space Seton out and get something good offensively.
Book goes hard. They'll call the block on Shashi. If the whistle had gone the other way, it would have been the 4th foul on Book.
And it's the right call by the official. Brandon Thomas can't believe it, but, well, hey, Brandon might have a case. Brandon Thomas may have a case because it looked like Kamal Shashi was there. And from that angle, it looks like that should have been the 4th foul on Brandon Book.
However, instead, he goes to the line to shoot 2 as Shashi picks up his 3rd foul.
I think if head coach Brandon Thomas would have saw that replay, he would have been even more angrier because he's still in disbelief.
Coat is off. Tie is loosened. Top button undone. 1 of 2 for Book. A timeout called with 5:32 left. Timeout Seton Academy. They find themselves down 44-39. The winner of this ball game to play tomorrow evening at about 8 o'clock for the state Class 2A title. Brandon Thomas making his point loud and clear.
He is really working the officials, and the official just gave him a warning, say, hey, get to your huddle. He has to be careful. But if you're Seton and you see your coach out there fighting for you, giving it his all, it has to inspire you as a player. Now Seton is down 5, but it's a lot of time left in this ball game.
Of course, state championship in 2A tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We know that U-High will be in that ball game, and we'll also crown a 1A champion tomorrow afternoon. Make sure you join us when Carrollton takes on Woodlawn. That will be preceded by our 3rd place game. Illini Central against North Shore Country Day, and then tomorrow night at 6:30. Right here on these stations, along with ESPN3.com at 6:30. Our 3rd place game, which will match a disappointed club from Rockford Lutheran. They'll be taking on the loser of this ball game. Full day of action tomorrow, beginning at noon. Eureka Band been entertaining the crowd. The crowd from Breese Central enjoying what they're seeing on the board. 44-39, they lead it. Brandon Thomas still getting his message across, this time to his players as they take the floor.
And I think part of his argument is inspiration for his players. He wants some energy within his guys to get them going so they can get back in this game.
Inside Tolliver, goes hard. That's exactly what Brandon Thomas was begging for. He wanted Tolliver to go hard against Book, and Brandon Book has just picked up his 4th foul.
And that is very crucial for Breese Central. Brandon Book picking up that foul, hitting Tolliver on the arm. But JR needs to knock down his free throws.
Now here's the interesting situation. Book picked up 4 fouls with 5 minutes left in the super sectional win. He stayed in the ball game that night, the win against Harrisburg on Tuesday, because his coach Stan Eagleson said, I had to leave him out there because if he comes on the bench, in effect, he had fouled out at that point. But this time, he sets Book down with a 4-point lead.
Well, I think it's a smart move by Coach Eagleson to bring Brandon out of this game, because Breese Central has done a solid job of playing well with Book on the bench. But if you leave him in there with those 4 fouls, it's like blood in the water for the Sting. They're going to go after him. They're going to pound it into J.R. Tolliver or Russell Robinson, or attack Book with their quick guards.
Central be very patient if they can on this trip. We're under 5 minutes.
Jacob Timmerman has been working Jordan Foss in that post, and a great pass by Timmerman.
Austin Rickoff with the bucket. The lead has gone to 6. That matches our biggest of the night for Central.
That was a heady play by the point guard, a sophomore. Wow.
Tolliver again. That one's flipped out of there. Rickoff with the tip out, and now Central a chance to get this lead to 8 or more.
Now take a look at that clock. It's ticking down. We're going to be under 4 minutes soon. Seton has to be disciplined on the defensive end.
Shear with the bucket.
Well, Kyler Shear has got it going. He's had a huge 4th quarter for the Cougars. Just little plays have inserted him into this ball game.
4 points scored here by Central, with Book going to the bench with his 4th foul. We only have 3:40 left. Biggest lead of the night, 48-40.
Kyle Weems has to be more aggressive with that basketball in his hands. He needs to go.
Robinson juggles it on the way to the hoop. Loose ball 2.
Look at Nick Grapperhouse.
He's at the bottom. He'll give a little pat on the shoulders to Kamal Shasi, but it'll be Seton ball when we come back. How about the sophomore Timmerman? The bucket inside, the 8-point lead.
How come insurance companies tell me I can save like 40%?
Before they even know what I need.
How come my company never asked me
My idea of financial security.
How come nobody gives me a financial plan I can understand?
Country Financial does. Your country representative can help protect what you have now and prepare for the future.
Somebody who knows retirement planning and insurance.
Yeah.
At Country, we always ask, what's your idea of financial security?
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. And we already had 4, so I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. You can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Rich?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Earlier this week, your Class 2A All-State teams were named. We talked about a couple of the players in this ball game in them, Brandon Book and Mark Weems. Earlier on tonight, we saw Keita Bates-Diop from Normal U High. You'll see him again tomorrow night in the championship game. Our second team, Mark Niebrugge from Teutopolis. Boy, what a heartbreak it was for the Wooden Shoes the last 2 years. Let's check in, though, with Matt Rodewald.
I've listened in on Brandon Thomas's 2 huddles, the last 2 timeouts, including this last one. The message is the same in 2 different ways. We're looking for a sense of urgency. They're trying to find just some sort of intensity and some passion to get back into this. Maybe asking for a little more physical play on defense, but begging for some rebounding because they're getting killed on the boards, and get a couple of defensive stops, and it's just a 2-possession game.
Seton on the short end of a 7-2 run by Central in the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Tolliver continues to fight. The tip goes.
Johnny Patterson again on the offensive board, using those long arms. But in this second half, Seton is 4 of 12 from the free throw. They are really struggling.
And a turnover will give the ball to the Sting.
And hats off to Jordan Foster. That on-ball pressure, man-to-man. The competitiveness by Foster to create that turnover and get a possession for Seton. Now they have to be in attack mode because it's 2:42 left. You have to go. The clock is not your friend.
This is Foster. Mark Weems, the All-Stater, has been held to just 1 field goal and 4 free throws. It's Grapper House on him right now.
And the body language of Mark Weems is not good right now, because when you see him catch the ball, he's not ready to score. He's not in triple threat position.
He gets Grapper House in the air. Rebound fight, and I think battle. Chassis and Book, and it will go to Central.
Well, Shashi isn't afraid of anyone, and he goes head-to-head with Brandon Book on this play. Kamal trying to flex those muscles, trying to labor for a foul call from the officials, but doesn't get him.
On the trail, Rickoff is fouled. Stops the clock with 2:06 to play. 2 big free throws coming up from Austin Rickoff. He's 58% on the year, 2 for 2 tonight.
And the Cougars are changing the pace of this game. They haven't really been rattled by the Seton's defense because they're spreading the floor out and allowing everyone to touch the basketball. But when they get their opportunity to run, they're going to push it in transition, and they're going to go straight at the basket. Now on the flip side, Seton has to do a better job in defensive transition. They're not communicating as well as they did in the first quarter, or rather the first half.
Rickoff bounced it around, but he bounced it through. 2 big points for the Cougars. They lead it by 8. Central this season has averaged allowing 40 points per game, giving up just 42 to a team that came in averaging nearly 80 a game.
Credit to their defense. Huge credit to their defense.
Tough shot from Tolliver. He'll get it again, and he'll go to the line and have to settle for 2 free throws.
Well, JR is working in that paint, on the boards, and getting to the free throw line. Man, just look at him work. Misses that shot, leaps in and gets the ball again and gets himself to the free throw line.
He's been there 10 times. He's only made 5. Rips the net on that one, and a double-double for J.R. Tolliver. 10 points, 11 rebounds.
That's a strong double-double, 10 and 11.
That's a hard-earned 10 and 11.
Very hard.
Brandon Book also the double-double, 22 and 11. Loose ball tracked down by Seton and Weems. Only $1:40 to play.
And I'd like to see a high ball screen for Jordan Foster or one of their guards. Maybe Russell Robinson can come up and set a ball screen to create some freedom for this team to operate.
That foul will stop the clock. The foul by Justin Becker.
Oh, and that's going to be a foul anywhere you play. Anywhere you play, that's going to be a foul.
Weems to the line. 66% on the year, 4 of 4 tonight. Has just 6 points. That's 8 points below his average.
Coach Thomas is trying to check to see how, with the scores table, to see how many timeouts he has left. He has 2 left. And I wouldn't be surprised if he uses one if Mark Weems knocks down his free throw.
Not going to happen. Book with his 12th rebound of the night.
He needs help.
The timeout is called by Central. Stan Eagleson will take it with 1:25 left. Great ball games here in Peoria today. It started at noon. It started with the 1-point win by Carrollton. Joey Coonrod with 2 free throws with 10 seconds left. That coming down to the final possession. A subsequent turnover by Illini Central. So Illini Central in the 3rd place game. They'll take on North Shore Country Day as Woodlawn, the Cardinals, knocked off North Shore 62-44. Hopefully you're with us earlier this evening in a battle, true battle, for a chance to play for the state championship. Pioneers from Normal U-High defeated the Rockford Lutheran Crusaders 55-52, and you've enjoyed this one, a 6-point difference. And again, that sets up tomorrow. Full day of basketball beginning at noon, 3rd place and championship game in 1A. And Cameron Smith, Matt Rodewald, and I will be right back here at Carver Arena at 6:30. 3rd place in 2A, followed by the state championship battle. Well, we knew coming in with 3 of the top 4 teams in the last AP rankings that we were going to have some good basketball, and we have. Let's go to Matt Rodewald.
The simple assignment for the kids from Breese Central, run your stuff, run your offense, trying to make sure that they don't turn the ball over and protect the ball. So the simplest way to do it, guys, and Cameron, you'll know this better than anybody, is just to continue to run your offense all the way through.
Yes, you want to make defenses work, especially when you have this kind of lead with 1:25 left. Now, Breese Central, we touched on it time and time again in this game, offensively, they love to space the floor, and they love to cut. They make hard cuts.
Timmerman hard, but it's poked away by Weems. However, Grapperhaus, the follow is good.
And there he is, Brandon Book once again. Right place, right time, getting that layup.
24 points for an 8-point lead. And the Cougars in business. Foul away from the ball. Kamal Shasi will pick it up. It stops the clock with 62 seconds to play. Take a look at Shasi's 4th foul right here, number 23.
Oh. Kamal has to be careful because that could have been a flagrant foul as you see him extend that arm. You don't want to see those type of plays.
The biggest lead of the night comes with 1:02 to play. Justin Becker will look to make it double digits, and he does.
Stepping to the line and knocking down the free throws. And Justin gets a deflection, deflects the ball out of bounds. But Breese Central has dominated this second half in terms of rebounding the ball, scoring the ball, and at the free throw line.
Shasi has to force it up. Grapperhaus will try to dribble away and then pass away from trouble. And those extra 2 bounces on the turnover just use up another second off the clock. Right now, that's all the Central fans want. As Seton Academy will take a timeout. They'll have 1 remaining, but as they head to the bench, the biggest lead, 54-44, 24 of those 54 coming from the right hand of number 50, Brandon Book. You know, Cameron, you look back, this ball game was in Seton's favor in the first half. And then in a span of 30 seconds, Book scores 5 points, including the 3 at the buzzer to make it a 1-point game. Now I know you can say, well, it was only a 1-point game, now it's 10. But the psyche going into the locker room for Breese Central after he hits that 3 at the buzzer at the half had to be so huge for when they came back out.
And we saw when they came out to warm up for the second half, Breese Central just had an extra pep in their step. Guys were out there applauding each other, shooting jumpers, while Seton came out of the locker room a little lackadaisical. They didn't have great facial expressions. You just felt that they really didn't want to come out and take over the game like Breese Central did. Breese came out, dominated this second half, and it's the mark of a 32-1 ball club. We are seeing why they only have 1 loss on the season, because they do a great job of adjusting, whether it's after the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, or fourth quarter. They do a great job of adjusting their game plan so that they can get the win.
That's what you call filling up a stat sheet right there for Book. 24-13 and 5 blocks. He does have 4 fouls. He also has a 10-point lead.
That's efficiency. That is efficiency from that young man. 24-13 and 5 blocks. 5 of 7 from the free throw line. That is a complete ball game.
Sting will have to get it up in a hurry.
They need to go. They need to get a shot up quick.
Foster saves to Tolliver. Book has to let him go. The rebound will come off to the Cougars. Man ahead, Grapperhaus. He's looking for points.
And I think that will do it for the game. And it's only fitting that Nick Grapperhaus, the defensive juggernaut, finishing that play for his Cougars.
And he's trying to suppress a smile right there. Central fans loving it.
Well, I'll say one thing, Dave. Tomorrow night's championship game is going to be a dogfight. It may be low in scoring because U-High, the Pioneers, play great defense. They won the game prior to this one on two big defensive plays. And we're seeing the Cougars of Breese Central hold a team that scores over 60 points per game. They've held them to only 45 tonight. That is huge.
That championship game is just 15 seconds away for Breese. However, Russell Robinson will get the easy one. See, we'll take the timeout with 10 seconds left. Long way to go and 9 points to make up for the Sting. But you look ahead to tomorrow night. You talk about all-staters on the floor. How about the matchup we will see between Kata Bates-Diop and Brandon Book, a sophomore going against a senior. The big lineup for U-High to go along with that defense you just mentioned.
Well, it's going to be huge because Book is tough inside, and Kata isn't as strong or as physical as Brandon can be, but he makes up for it with his athleticism, his long arms. So it's going to be interesting to see how those two match up against each other.
The hug's already happening on the Central bench.
And they can feel it.
Wow.
They can feel it.
It's the reserves that are doing all the hugging. The starters are still in there listening to it. Oh, man, are they jacked? So is that young lady right there.
Well, she knows that her team is going to be playing for the state championship in 2A tomorrow night.
At Grapperhaus, you can look at his stat sheet and see 14 points. But defensively, he completely disrupted what Seton has wanted to do tonight.
Yes, indeed, and Seton thrives in transition. The Cougars have done a great job nullifying that by limiting Seton on 0 fast break points. Now, this is for the complete ball game. Seton doesn't have a fast break point. For a team that thrives on defense and has some of the quickest guards in the state, they don't have any fast break points. So hats off to Stan Eagleson's ball club by stopping Seton in the open court.
With all the numbers that we've thrown out tonight, that's probably the most amazing one.
And on the flip side, Breese Central has 10 points in transition. 10 fast break points by this ball club, who is deceptively quick. Now we know that Breese Central can't beat Seton in the foot race, but they've done a great job of moving the basketball, not dribbling, but throwing it ahead to open players for wide open looks.
Cougar is going to get some players in if Grapperhaus can connect on his second free throw.
And Nick is letting out a little smile right now.
There it is. I knew it was coming.
He can't hold it in. He knows how good this feels. To be playing for the state championship tomorrow night is something you dream about as a high school basketball player.
Gavin Thomas in the ball game along with Andrew Schulte. Try to hustle in Greg Meyer. They may not be able to get it. He misses the second free throw. This game was tied at 39. And it will end up with a big victory for Breese Central. The Cougars, who came into this ball game ranked #1. A spot that Seton Academy had held most of the year. They win it, and they get a chance to play for the official #1 tomorrow night, the 57-47 win over Seton Academy.
We have seen why Breese Central is #1 in Class 2A. A 32-1 ball club, showing why they're tough, why they deserve the recognition.
How much did that bench enjoy it? Get rid of the ball.
Well, you would have thought that they won the state championship tonight the way they're celebrating.
Well, you know, I think a lot of folks, this is what happens when you get a north versus south situation. When nobody plays anybody you can compare with, you say, okay, we're 1 and 2, let's go out and prove it,
yes.
And we truly did.
And it's confidence booster, too, because you're playing against a team that's from the Chicago area.
Let's go to Matt Rodewald.
24 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks. You did it all tonight.
Yeah, it's a game you definitely have to step up in, and everyone on the court did it tonight for us.
Awfully physical out there. You were able to adjust to that and also able to adjust to the pace that they wanted to play that it never really got to.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple physical games this year, and it's definitely got me a little bit prepared for today, and it paid off at the end.
The girls got to the finals, now you get to the finals.
Yeah, they gave us a lot of crap about that, and we put it right back at them, so it's pretty nice.
Well, congratulations, Brandon. We'll talk to your head coach, Stan Eagleson. You've been coaching for 30 years and you're heading to the state championship game for the first time.
That's a wonderful feeling. I'm so proud and happy for this group of kids. They're just not only good ball players, but just great people. So I'm really thrilled for them.
How difficult is it to prepare for a team like Seton?
It's very difficult because, you know, they have so much quickness and athleticism. That's hard to simulate. You know, we worked on our press breakers yesterday and today in practice. You know, it looks so easy. Then when you get out here against them, it's much tougher. But I thought we did a better job this second half. That shot Brandon hit right at the half gave us a lot of momentum. And you can just kind of tell by Seton's body language, you know, it really hurt him. So we came out and battled the third quarter and were able to stretch it out, and just a wonderful win.
Well, Coach, congratulations heading to the state championship tomorrow. Are you going to get any sleep tonight?
Oh, yeah, I'll sleep. You know, we'll sleep, and then we'll get ready, and I think it'll be another good ball game tomorrow.
All right, Coach, good luck. Head coach Stan Eagleson of heading to the state championship game, 33-1. The Cougars, the Lady Cougars did it. They got to the finals. They weren't able to pull off the championship. Brandon Book said they got a lot of crap for the girls, and now they can give it right back by winning a state championship tomorrow night, taking on U High. For Dave and for Cameron, my name is Matt Rodewald. 2 state champions will be crowned tomorrow. We'll see you then on the IHSA Television Network.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Well, aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
From the gridiron to the hardwood, on the links or on the track, on the diamond or on the ice. Go to prepfilms.com. It's easy. You can order your DVD online. At prepfilms.com, you make the memories. We'll make them last forever.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Well, aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Mom, can I have $1? Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? It's not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet?
There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.